I'm very pleased that this year Naturewatch is extending its reach. Key Stage 2 pupils from 30 schools in the Northumbrian Water Group regions are being invited to take part. And I've come along today to Brunton First School, just outside Newcastle, where Charlotte has got some questions for me. So Charlotte, what's your first question?
What is Naturewatch and why is it happening?
Naturewatch is a very exciting project. It's about getting people to go into their garden if they have one, or a piece of ground close to them, might be a nature reserve, might be a park, and to look for wildlife, but not just to see it and enjoy it, but to write it down, either on a piece of paper or online, and send it to us so that we can find out what everyone is seeing and finding in their spaces.
Who can get involved and how?
All of the employees of the Northumbrian Water Group can get involved in Naturewatch. But this year, what's more exciting is that we've asked Key Stage 2 pupils of 30 schools in the Northumbrian Water regions, so that's in the North East, in Essex and in Suffolk, to get involved as well. Because we'd like you to go out into your gardens or your grounds of your school and tell us what you find there.
How can I tell different species apart, especially birds?
Well, I bet you're quite good at some. Do you know the difference between a rabbit and a fox?
Yeah.
Obviously you do, yeah. What about, say, a blackbird and a starling?
I might get a bit confused between those two.
It's not easy when you first start looking at birds in particular. A lot of them look relatively similar. So you can go online, there's lots of things there. If you type in the names of those birds and then have a look at the pictures, you'll be able to identify them. There's lots of guides there as well. So you have to do some research sometime. But that's exciting because you always learn new things when you're doing research. And you need to do it a couple of times and you'll remember the difference between a blackbird and the starling.
I know some of my friends might not have a garden. Where else can they do the Naturewatch?
We're not all lucky enough to have gardens, but that doesn't matter. We'd still like you to do Naturewatch for us. So you can either do it in your friend's garden or your school ground in particular, or you can walk out of your garden and go to a local park. Now, a lot of people, I think, imagine that they'd have to go somewhere wild to see lots of wildlife. But we don't really want them necessarily to go to nature reserves. We're interested in the animals that live around us, particularly if you live in a town. So even if it's just a patch of land that you walk past on your way to school, you could choose that as your area. So we'd like everyone to get involved. So if they don't have a garden, find another patch quite close to yourself.